Welcome to Motivational Monday. This is Fed Ray Zach, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading. And today I'm going to discuss with you a turning point. Now, organizations go through turning points, people go through turning points, but I want to discuss one specifically. But before we start, make sure to like, subscribe, and do share, especially if you find value in this presentation. Okay, so this story goes back when I'm about 29 years old. I'm volunteering for this international non-for-profit organization. I'm working together with a team of people, very successful people in their own right? These are people that have day jobs that they're really successful at. We had TV writers, we had producers, we had people who were in real estate, in finance, in insurance, really a whole gamut of very successful people, lawyers, doctors, whatever it was. It was a group of very successful people, and it was really an honor to be part of this team. And I'm kind of following up on my side of the project with my project manager, who's slightly older than me. And I discussed with him some of the boundaries and some of the walls that I've come against that I can't seem to get past. And we work out about certain solutions, and then he says, go do it. Knowing full well that I had the capability of coming up with the solutions, he said, go do it. And then I answered, yeah, nonchalantly. I said, yeah, I'll try. And then he paused me and he said, stop. And he gave me a very serious look with a smile on it, right? Those are the dangerous ones. And he said to me, there is no try. There's do or do not, but there is no try. And I said, wow, that was really very powerful. And that line actually comes from a movie, Empire Strikes Back. And the scene of where that comes up with is Luke Skywalker, who's trying to become a Jedi Master, is under Yoda, the master who's a Jedi, and he's trying to learn how to become a master, and he teaches him certain skills. And as they're talking, his ship, Luke Skywalker's ship, sinks into the swamp. And he's like so frustrated, and he feels so powerless, and you see the immaturity. And you know, this Yoda master looks at him and he says, but you can move rocks. And he says, yeah, but this is not a rock. This is a ship. This is huge. And he says, there is no difference. The only difference is in your mind. And then he gives him a really very serious line, and he says, you have to unlearn what you've learned. And I think that that's a really very powerful tool in life. Now, many times we are set with certain boundaries, certain beliefs that hold us back. Now, there are records that are broken all the time. Wayne Gretzky broke certain records. Michael Jordan broke certain records. Usain Bolt broke certain records. Records are being broken all the time. Now, they're just places that we have to overcome. That is all it is. They're just benchmarks. Now, there is a famous story with Alexander the Great where he's about to conquer Persia. And what he does is the unthinkable. He gets there, his entire army, by ships. And he sure well knows that the Persian army is far bigger than his own army. But he does something which is the unthinkable. He burns the ships. He burns all of his ships. So what has he done? He has forced his fighters to fight for their lives. And when you fight for your life, that becomes a completely different opponent than when you're just trying to do something as opposed to do it. And that is really a very big lesson in life. And many a time, corporations are faced with that. There is a story with Apple being faced with that. And you have to know how to galvanize in those type of crises to overcome the biggest hurdles you think that you can't overcome. And not only do you become better at it, but you become stronger, you become smarter, you become greater. Your being becomes greater and expands to the next level. And I think that that's really a very important life lesson. Now, there have been very smart CEOs that have put crises in the company before it actually happened, just to see how people will react to it. Will it bring more fighters? Will people fight, or will they, fight or flight, or will they flight, right? And so there are different situations where CEOs have put their individuals in that type of situation where it's a crisis mode, and not by choice, but by just definition of how it went. And then, boom, you see a complete turnaround. You complete different people, same company, same product, but the people have changed. And the people have changed because they realize what's at stake. Sometimes companies get a little bit fat, sometimes people get a little bit fat, and I don't mean that on the spheric level, I mean it on the comfortability level. We become comfortable with what we have, and that is the biggest drug that we could possibly be addicted to, comfort. And when we don't push our boundaries further and further apart, then we don't know how to grow. We actually are receding. We're not growing at that point. And that is something that we can't accept, not as an organization, not as a people, and not as a person, because ultimately we're here to expand. And if you want to expand, the only way to do it is to push the bar higher. Thank you for joining me for Motivational Mindless. We'll see you here next week.